Swami Shankarananda, remind you, is the founder of non-dualism or monism. Non-dualism states that whatever you see, the entire world with all its diverse objects, is all an illusion. They don't exist. Yes, they have got existence. They may not exist in the form in which they profess to be, but there is an existence. So this entire book is aimed at giving us a technique. We saw one technique in Devika Uttara. We saw another beautiful technique in the Guru Stuti. But that was very, very brief. And in this Atma Bodha, a traditional technique which is based on pure scriptures has been propounded. And now this is just like the Phalashruti. Phalashruti means whenever in an important book of chanting, say the Lalita Sahasranama, the Upanishads, something like that which is supposed to give you some benefits on your way to the higher reaches of spirituality, then what do you gain out of that? Where does it take you? There is a discussion about it. And here, Tad Brahmetyavadhari, know that that is the Brahman. He is not defining the Brahman, but he is going to detail the various benefits of what Jesus we get out of our reaching that highest goal, the supreme consciousness, the absolute, the eternal truth. He said in the earlier shlokas, know that as a Brahman, by attaining which there is nothing more which remains to be attained. There is nothing more superior that you would ever hanker for. No. There will be nothing more superior. It is the best, best, best. It is super in every aspect of it. Yallabha naparo labha. It is the greatest of attainments. It is the greatest of knowledges. Yena jnatena sarvamidam jnata mukti. By knowing which everything can be known. This is the supreme knowledge. This is the king of all knowledges. This is the Rajavidya as we call it. And by seeing which you get so full, you would never like to see anything else again. This has been told to us in a more symbolic way in certain anecdotes of certain Mahatmas. There was one great saint who was blind from birth. And he was praying to the Mother Kamachi, the Divine Mother, who is residing at Kanchipuram. Mother is always compassionate. And he opened his eyes and had a full vision of the Divine Mother in all her aspects. And the mother said, now I am granting you this permanent life. You can live in this world. He refused. He said, Mother, please make me back blind. I don't want to see anything else in this world with the eye which has seen the greatest of all that is worthy of being seen, and that is yourself. I don't want anything else. So he remained blind all through his life. That is a symbolic way of expressing this Atma. The moment you get the self is the most effulgent, self is the greatest of deities, self is the Divine Mother, self is the Brahman, self is the Shiva. So when once you get that self, everything else will pale before it, everything will remain absolutely tasteless. That's all. So the one by seeing which nothing remains to be seen. the one by knowing which nothing more remains to be known. Know that as the Brahman, that is what is taught. We go to 56. Tirya Gurdha Purnam Satchidanandam Advayam Anantam Nityamekam Yat Tabrahmetya Vadharaye. What to say? And they tried to find out, to locate the consciousness. They failed. They were shocked. They never thought that there is no consciousness in the entire brain. Then they tried to find out where from this consciousness entering the body. They got the most sensitive plate which could record. No, it couldn't record it because the law of consciousness flouted the entire theories of Einstein. According to E=mc² C represents, the constant represents the speed of light. According to the quantum sciences of that day, according to Einstein, there is nothing which can exceed the speed of light. It disproved it. It was coming several times the speed of light so that nothing could record it. And then Schrödinger, one of the Nobel Prize winners, one of the quantum physicists, he writes, consciousness comes from beyond time and space. Consciousness has no plural, it is always singular, is what he writes. So this is everywhere, in transverse directions, you have got the consciousness. You go like this, you go like this. Supposing you put a square or a rectangle and put the transverses both sides, that is called the pillar. Urdhvam, you go up, there is consciousness. You go anywhere to the infinite, there is consciousness. Adha, go down, 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 anywhere, up to the netherworld. Atala, Sutala, Talatala, Patala, there are 7 planes down below, go there. Everywhere you will encounter that pure consciousness. The consciousness is everywhere. There is an Upanishad we say, Brahma Purastat, Brahma Paschat, Brahma Urdhvam, Brahma Adha. It is everywhere. And more or less, he has taken the leap out of that Upanishad. Then, Purna. What is Purna? Purna means self-contained, it requires nothing. It requires nothing, it contains everything, it is all. So what does it need? Will it need food? Will it need accommodation? Will it need a cushion to sleep by? No, nothing is required. It doesn't require a Mercedes Benz. Why? When only the 0-watt bulb becomes aware that I am not that miserable, the most insignificant 0-watt, I am that infinite electricity. Without it leaves of its identification with its body and it re-identifies itself with its natural form, namely the infinite electricity, then its power is unlimited, it is not limited to 0-watt. And whatever, it may be a 0-watt here, but it is the same it is enjoying as 1,000 watts, all the popularity, all the adulation from all the people in that bubble. A Jivan Mukta may be poor from the standards of your own, from all your financial standards. He may not own anything. He will be begging in the streets of Tiruvannamala. But he is Purna. He lacks in nothing. He has identified himself with that Brahman which is in all. As such, there is no question, he will never feel that I don't have a Mercedes Benz. All the people in the world who are owning the Mercedes Benz, it is his form. So he is already enjoying them in all those forms. He doesn't regret that he doesn't have a 3-storied building to own. All the people in the world who own multi-storied buildings, they are all He. He is in the form. So what does He lack? He is full. He is perfect. And He is full. Nothing more is required for Him. He is self-contented. There is no scope for any desire. What is that to be desired? He is all, He is in all. He can become all. He can create all. What do you want? Anything you want, He can create it. There is a great Maharshi. They were twins. They were known as Nara and Narayana. He was the incarnation of Lord Vishnu, that Narayana. He was doing intense austerity. For years he never opened his eyes, he never bothered about his food. And he used to hold his breath for years continuously. Indra, the Lord of the heavens, he was always afraid whenever he said he was performing any austerities. He was afraid that fellow may not ask for a boon that I want to become the next Indra. Then what will happen? He will be ousted out of his post and the other man will be posted. Indra will be out of job. He can only write, I am ex-Indra. Who will bother for ex-Gurus? So, Indra somehow wanted to disturb him so that his austerities may not become complete. He wanted Narayana to become a fallen angel. He sends the god of love, Manmatha, with all his entire retinue, accompanied by a number of the most beautiful nymphs that you can never imagine, that you can never conceive of, available in the heavens. The dancers, the dancing girls, the divine nymphs. They all go there, and before him they are all dancing. Dancing in various poses, with garments, without garments, in such a way as to excite anybody. But Narayana opens his eyes. He just laughs at them all uproariously. And he calls Indra, come here, I'll show you something. Indra was afraid, now he's going to curse me. No. Laughingly, he just patted his thigh, and out of the thigh, 100 the most beautiful damsels, they came out. They stood in the line. And none of the divine nymphs whom he sent would hold a candle to any one of these hundreds. He didn't stop with that. He said, Indra, well, you are looking with covetous eyes, you can choose anyone and take your heavens. Then he chose the first which came out of his thigh, and she was known as Urvashi. Uru means the thigh. So Urvashi means the one who came out of his thigh. So he produced, he laughed. So he is Purna. And you want to tempt him with divine things. You can produce lakhs of divine things more beautiful than anybody. So the one who is one with that Brahman, he has got all the characteristics of Brahman. He has got that power of being Purnatva. He is all. He is self-contained. He requires nothing. He lacks in nothing. Then Satchidananda, come on, tell me, what is the nature of that Brahman? What can we see? Anything that is known is amounts to only these three words. If you want to describe that supreme consciousness, you can only say, yes, that supreme consciousness is, because you are aware that you are, I am. So that happiness is there, that existence is there, that existence, that being, that is the supreme. It is there with everybody, and every object is. There is no object who says that I am not. So as such, Sat, that is existence, being, that is his first attribute. And if this mic exists and if the mic is not aware of its existence, it is of no use. It has to be aware of it. That awareness and existence go together. What is the use of me If I were to exist like a vegetable, I am aware that I exist. I should be aware that I exist, then I can enjoy. And that is consciousness. Consciousness is the awareness of existence. That is what is called the consciousness. The feeling that I am, that is the consciousness. So, that is called the chitta. The existence and the consciousness, they are interlinked in an inseparable manner, intrinsically, and you cannot remove the one out of the other. So whatever exists, it has to have consciousness. Yes, even the mic has got consciousness. But what is the difference? Its consciousness is not manifest, my consciousness is manifest. That's the only difference. It has come out to the fore. Electricity, you are able to see only in these lights and the fan. Does it mean that the electricity is available only in these points? No, it is there in the entire circle. Then where is it? It is unmanifest. It is manifest in these points which are kept. That's all. So, if only you remain in that I am, nothing else, asmi, not even aham, not even Brahma, aham Brahma, simply am, that would do. Then, if you continue to remain in it, it opens up the entire wall of your heart, which you had closed it by your choice. The choice of I like it, I do not like it. The raga dvesha. The likes and dislikes. And what did they do? They used to open up just a little the wall, and the happiness used to escape, go to the very object from which you expect to derive, say the gulab jamun, and you take the gulab and say, oh, it's very fine, excellent, very nice. Where from that happiness has come? The happiness is not a characteristic of the gulab jamun. You take 100 gulab jamuns at a time, you will know what happiness you are getting. No. If one unit is made up of happiness, 100 units are made up of happiness. Then even if you take 1,000 gulab jamuns, there should be no rejection from you. So the entire thing is only a superimposition. What pertained to you, you put it back and took it back, and then you are so happy with that, with those droplets. That's all. While the entire reservoir is with you, unaware. It is just like the beggar. You know, in Venice there is a beggar. For 45 years he was occupying a corner of a street where 4 streets used to be there. And while whoever the passers-by were going on, you say, please drop me 1 layer. So he will be asking, and people will be dropping on small coin. 45 years of his life he spent. The fellow died one day, so the municipality and the local people decided, well, this fellow was sitting there, sometimes spitting and all that, it is all in a dirty way. So they wanted to clean it. So they wanted to make a nice platform and all that, to install some statues. So they were, in order to make a foundation, they were digging it. When they dug it, they found there is a very big pot full of gold coins. The man was sitting over millions of gold coins, and absolutely unaware of use of beggar. That is what we are all. We are sitting over a treasure of million gold coins. We are not aware of it. We are begging for happiness from a wife, from a child, from music, from a beating, God knows from what, from a house, from all positions, unaware of the greatest position of all times, which is lying embedded in your heart. Then, Satchidanandam Advaitin. There are not many like that. You can't say, oh, I don't want this Brahman, I'll go to another shop and I may get something else cheaper. No. He is the only one of his kind. He is the only one of his species. He is Advaya. He is second to none. There is nobody else. then Ananta. He is infinite. Well, let millions of people enjoy the bliss will never be exhausted. The bliss will be going on increasing. It is infinite. Nityam. It is permanent. It is unlike the gulab jamun or the other sweets which you eat, which will give you pleasure only for a short while. They are all evanescent pleasures, transient ones, and they will last for a long time. So here it is, nitya, eternal. You take it for any number of time, for any number of years, for any number of births, it will continue. Now comes no more births. Ekam. It is only one, only one. So you have to concentrate your gaze on that one. There is no use of distracting it on many. All the many will have to be dissolved into that one. Ekam yat, that which is all these Tad Brahmahet Javadhari. No, that is the Brahman. That is the Supreme Being. That is the ultimate consciousness. That is the eternal absolute. Now we come to the next 57. Atadhyavritti rupena vedantair lakshate vyayam akhandanandamekam yat tad brahmetyavadharayet. All right. You are talking of some supreme consciousness which is everywhere but which cannot be seen. And you are talking in conundrums. You are talking in puzzles. Can it be seen? Can it be experienced? Who is going to teach me? Who is going to point it out to me? Yes, here it is, the Brahman. You are talking in general terms that which is the best of all things to be seen. I am yet to see it. That which is the best of all things to be heard. I am yet to hear it. Then what is the use of all these things? How to get it? Yes, there is a way. The entire Vedanta. What is Vedanta? The Vedanta is the final decisive portion of the Veda. Anta has got two meanings. One is the end. Anta means the Nirnaya, the final decision. After going through the various scriptures, some scriptures say something, some scriptures say something, then Vedanta gives you in a decisive manner, well, this is Brahman, this is the way by which you go. So, but that Vedanta, you cannot read it by yourself from books. Today, a gentleman was asking me, Swamiji, can you recommend one good dictionary where all the Vedantic terms have been explained live? I said, look here, in the olden days, nobody studied Vedanta with a dictionary. These are only the modern days when you read the Vedas with dictionary and you think you have become an expert. And you read that Veda with, they are writing for the title flag. They know nothing about Vedas. So, the Vedanta or the Upanishad, they are the end portions. The Vedas consist of three portions mainly. The first portion is called the Samhita. Samhita is all 100% sound effect. Whatever you shout, its meaning, apart from its meaning, it goes and it serves some purpose. A man who never had any children, he performs one sacrifice called the Putra Kameshwa Yaga. Then certain specific mantras from the Vedas are chanted. So they go and affect the womb of that lady who is to conceive, and all the defects which were in the womb, they are all removed. In those days there were no X-rays, there were no scanners, there was no CAT scanning. The mantra which out of their mantras, they could rectify any defects that is possible. And that is the effect, that is the sound effect. And that is why there is a peculiarity in the Sanskrit language. All the mantras were in Sanskrit. By translating, you can't get the effect. If the word go has got an effect, go, the man will go. And if you translate any other language, it will not reach the Lord. Yes, in the common parlance, if you tell in any language, the meaning the fellow may or may not understand. But no translation will do, because that word, it goes, it assumes a form. Every word has got a form. Every sound has got a form. In our sound classes in the earlier days, they used to tell us, they used to take 2 prongs of something called the sonometer, and then, they will take his photo there on a film, and you will find that it is just going like a parabola. It's like that. The sound has got, that is why the tape recorder, the cassette. So how do the cassettes are prepared? You are talking over the mic, and then it gets recorded. How does it get recorded? It's got a form. So whatever you said, every sound had a form. So that is how they had worked in those days. The first portion of the Vedas were called Samhitas or mantras. They were meant for specific purposes, for the weal and the welfare of the world, both this world and the other world. People who wanted moksha, for them there were mantras. People who wanted the material goods, well, they had separate mantras. So that portion was called Samhita. Then there was, the second portion was called the Brahmana. For each Veda, there were several ascensions, there were several Samhitas, and each Samhita had its own Brahmana. The Brahmana meant the commentary on that chanting portion of the mantra portion, the collection of the mantra. And the third one, the commentary was to say, supposing some rituals are to be made, what are the requirements for the ritual? How many bricks are to be brought to prepare a sacrificial table? And then what should be the size of each? How many should be kept in the north? How many should be kept in the south? See, they're all important because it's all your electromagnetic energy. Electromagnetic energy has got its own law. There should be terminals, and they should be coming from a higher potential, lower potential. They have all to be formed of these bricks and all that. So they use different ways. This is not this kind of the electricity. They use sort of a divine electricity which was far superior to it, which they would invoke through rituals. And the Brahmanas decided that. Then the third portion of the Vedas was called Aranyaka. There is a time when people thought there is no use of having sacrifices for simply going to the heavens and then coming back. All the sacrifices, they never conferred liberation on you. You have to come back. Very many returns to this world. You come back. It is just like a man who got a lottery. He is sent for 10 days to UK. He stays in one of the most famous hotels. On the 11th day morning, the chamberlain, a fat chamberlain comes and get out. Your days are over. That's all. So it is just like that. So for whatever merit we do, we go to heaven. It's only another mentally conceived plane. Just as the earth is, it's not going to be any the better. It's again a mental concept. The Swargas and the Narakas. There is nothing like that. There is nothing like this world, and still you are seeing the world. This is second dream. So similarly, part of the dream is the heaven, part of the dream is the hell, the Lord. But they are true as long as this body is true. So only when you transcend the sense of the body, then you will be able to know that there is neither hell nor heaven. But till that stage, you have to regard them, so long as your body sense has not gone. It may take births. So the third portion is called the Aranyaka, where they mentally conceived all the sacrifices. There were no real sacrifices which were being done. They thought of the entire heaven and the earth together as a big field where the sacrifice was being done. And say the horse sacrifice. They said the sun and the moon were the eyes of the big horse. And then the rivers, they said they formed the tail of the horse. Like that, they had a beautiful symbolic visualization of it. It costed nothing. And it concentrated their gaze on the Supreme. And it had the real effect of it. It was called Aranyaka. It was conceived by those people who can't afford to do anything because they spend their lives in the forest. In the forest, what can they purchase? What can they do? So a part of that Aranyaka was Upanishad. Upanishad is the Jnana-khanda which contains the ultimate knowledge. There is a knowledge imparted from the Guru to the disciples. Not all were recorded.
because some of them were specific, but some of them were common remedies which can be shared with all, common techniques that they were all recorded. And that is what we call scripture. But the scriptures are imperfect. They cannot be interpreted by any man with reference to any commentaries, any books, unless it comes through the mouth of a guru who has experienced them, who has got that experiential knowledge. So the Vedanta, how does it talk about the Brahman? It doesn't say, this is Brahman, go there, room number 203, Brahman is sitting. No. Atad Vyavarti Rupena. Vyavarti means differentiation. What is Brahman? Out of 1,000 things, you have to differentiate it from other things. That is called a Vyavarti. Vyavarti Rupena, by means of differentiating it. From what? Atad. That is that. That means the Supreme Being. He is always called as that. I am that. I am that. That or Tat is being used to indicate the Supreme Being, the Supreme Consciousness. So Tat means that. Atad means not that, not that. So, by differentiating the Brahman from all objects of the world, by saying, no, this is not the body, no, this is not your vital breath, no, this is not your mind, no, this is not your intellect, and thus from all the external adjuncts with which we have been conditioned to identify ourselves and which has been the cause of all our miseries and hardships all these days, it separates it. It says none of these things are there. Then what? Where is this person who is negating them all, who is saying not this, not this? Well, he remains and he is that. That consciousness which is going on saying not this, not this, not this. And you forgot him. This is called the Dasamanyaya, the story of the 10th man which our Bhagavan was fond of repeating it. It so happened, 10 chaps went on a pilgrimage. They had to cross a river. They were villagers, so they were always afraid that somebody may get lost, somebody may be drowned in the river. So the moment they went on the other side, one chap began to count. 1, 2, 3, 4. He counted only 9. He left himself. He said, my Lord, out of 10, one is missing. He began to weep. Everybody said, what happened? Arey, one man is missing. Everybody began to weep loudly. By that time, an intelligent traveler was passing by, he was called. He said, what is the matter? Sir, we 10 of us came. We crossed the river, what is lost in the river? Presumably, only 9 are there. What are you talking? Then he took a stick which was lying there. He said, show your hand. Let me see. The first one he gave 1, number 1. Another one gave another, number 2. Then number 3, number 4, 10 were there. Satisfied? All the 10 of them said, okay. So like that, we forgot ourselves and we were pointing out everybody else. So after saying Atadvyavarti, by differentiating, by saying not this, not this, not this, neti, 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 no, this is not it, this is not it. The one who remains, the one who was doing all these things, all this function of negating, the seeker is the sword, he alone remains. So Atadvyavarti Rupena, by means of this differentiation from whatever is anatma, whatever is the non-self, Atad means the non-self. By that, Vedantaihi Lakshate. Lakshate, it is being pointed out by the Vedanta, by the philosophers. What is it that is being pointed out? Abhyayam, it points out the final goal is one which is immutable, which is imperishable, which is inexhaustible. It can never decay, it can never deteriorate, it remains as it is at all times. It is avyaya. Na vyeti. Vyeti, vyaya, that which gets expended, that which gets deteriorated. So that is called a vyaya. It is avyaya. Then akhandanandam, it is a continuous series of bliss. Whatever pleasures you have, they are all temporary. You build a house, how long are you happy about it? 2 days, 1 month, and then when the property tax people are after you, and then they say, we are not believing in your value, saying this costs only 2 lakhs, this costs 2 crores, and then you put a heavy property tax, see how much happens you get out of it. So, it is all temporary. Whatever happens, you get up to your son. So long as a small child, you are very happy with him. The day he began to marry, he said, Father, you don't do anything, just keep quiet. I am feeding you, don't interfere in my affair. What? This is my son. So we are unhappy with him. Where is that happiness gone? So here is the only happiness which is undivided. It is akhanda ananda. Akhanda. That which is not in pieces. We get it in peace. Here it is in one piece. So that is akhanda. And ekam, there is only one. So whatever is that yat, whichever is like that, tapi brahmyatyavadhari. That is the Brahman. That is the supreme consciousness. That's our supreme goal. Know that. The next we are coming. Akhandananda rupasya Satyananda labhashritaha brahmadhyastaratam yena bhavantyanandino lava. Now, well, sir, the disciple who is somewhat well-read in his scriptures, he argues, sir, well, I beg to disagree. It is not the Brahman alone which shall give you that supreme bliss. Otherwise, the scriptures prescribe so many sacrifices, and some of them is called, one of them is called Agnishtoma. So the Agnishtoma, Somayaga, they are promised there in the scriptures, the one who gets it, he will get immense bliss. He will become Amara. He will become a Deva, he will become an Immortal. Then what further bliss you want? So it is not Brahman alone which can bestow you this bliss. There are other sources which can also give you this bliss, which are easier. Here you expect me to do 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, remain there, that awareness, that consciousness which you can never catch, and the mind gets distracted. Every minute you think of being in consciousness, either you are in New York or in California or in Delhi, God knows what, but not in consciousness, not in the supreme consciousness. So, what is the use of all these things? Here is a ritual, I'll do it for 1 month, 2 months, pay some money to our priest, over, and I get my passport guaranteed there, I go and have my bliss. What about those bliss? The bliss I get out of all those things, the various lokas. He says, all the bliss in all the objects of the world, whether in this world or elsewhere, in all the heavens, they are all derived from droplets of the ultimate bliss. They are all droplets derived from the ultimate bliss. It is just like that. There was a broomstick kept down below, an old broomstick, dirty, and on the top of it, somebody had kept a pot, a jar, full of the best scent, a Paris scent which gives you nice fragrance. And unfortunately there is a small hole through which imperceptibly the scent was coming down, oozing out and coming down. It was falling all over that broomstick. Some people came, some good fragrance. Then they saw the broomstick. They went near it. one and went to one. Then again another group came. Ah, what a fragrance, so nice. They went to the broomstick, took another. They were unaware of the big part. So similarly, the entire bliss which you are supposed to get in all these relative worlds, in all these relative objects, it is a part of a droplet of the infinite bliss, nothing else. So you want to be satisfied with that drop where you can take gallons and gallons. Is it wisdom? Is it prudence? So this is what the Guru asks. Akhandananda rupasya tasya ananda lavashrita brahmadhyaha. You even go to the Brahmaloka. Brahmaloka is supposed to be among these relative planes. Brahmaloka is supposed to be a plane where it is absolute happiness, unadulterated by any hardships or miseries and suffering. So people would like to go to Brahmaloka. Even people who are not able to get the success in our sadhana. We have been doing our sadhana, but somehow in this birth we are unable to succeed. Where will they go? They won't return. Napunaravartate, the scriptures, they won't return back to this earth. But nor will they get moksha immediately because their practice is not complete, their sadhana is not complete. They go to this Brahmaloka. Brahmaloka is not one. There are hundreds of lokas. The entire group, the entire colony of these worlds, they are all called by that one generic name called the Brahmaloka. And it is known in different ways. It's called Mahadarsha, Loka called Mahaloka, there is a Loka called Janaloka, and there is a Loka called Tapoloka, there is a Loka called Satyaloka. All of them are full of bliss, but there will be grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, star 3 hotel, star 4 hotel and 5-star hotel. That is really the difference line. That's all. But even the third floor is good enough at one stage. So, Brahmadhyaha, all these various worlds and these various objects and the other, which you are supposed to get through various rituals without much of an effort, unlike in the case of attaining the Brahman. So all these things, do you know what is the source of that happiness? Where from they get the happiness? What is the super bazaar from which they purchase it? That is a very big super bazaar. And Satya Ananda Lavashrita, Satya of that Brahman, of that Supreme Brahman, who is the full of the, who is the inexhaustible reservoir of this ultimate bliss, a bliss which has no comparison. There is no joy on earth which you can compare with it. So, of that Ananda, Lava means a droplet, a small droplet. A drop and a droplet are different. A drop is something bigger. A droplet is still smaller than a drop. So, Lava Shritaha, Ashritaha, they are all based. Their origin is there. They are only a droplet of the biggest reservoir of Ananda, and you go and take it and you say, oh, it's all bliss. What are you talking? Brahmadhyaha, Taratamyana. Taratamya means by gradation. Taratamya is gradation. Tara means better, comparative. Tama means best. So, these are all called the standards of comparison. This is better, this is best. So, Tara Tama, the abstract noun of it is Taratamya. So, Taratamyana, according to the various gradations, then Ananda Lavashrita. Whose Ananda? Akhandananda Rupasya. Out of the biggest reservoir, the undivided bliss, Akhandananda Rupasya. That highest bliss is that of the Supreme Brahman, whose form is that of an undivided one. And from the undivided, eternal, infinite absolute, a little drop has come over there. There is no joy in any world, anywhere, which can compare even with one drop of that. Yes, they have tried to that in our Dhatri Upanishad, I have already told it once before. In the Dhatri Upanishad, there is a beautiful, in the first, there are three portions of it, there are three valleys. In the first valley, they are describing about the Brahmananda. What is it like? Somebody wanted to know. Come on, please tell me a preview, let me have just a trailer as to what will be the ultimate bliss like. He said, well, we should have a standard and then we should compare. Otherwise, how can you say how it is like? You have to compare it with somebody else. If you say, my car is very big, somebody will ask, well, how big are you? You see that car there? So it is 10 times that size. Oh, so you require a standard for that purpose. So the standard is, let us start from the man's happiness. The best happiness that a man can ever have. It is called the mantra ananda. So which will you call a standard happiness for a man? Take a man who is young, an old man, how much of happiness he'll be able to enjoy? Not at all. So take a young man. If you take a child, it will have no knowledge. So you have to have a young man who should be able to enjoy it properly. Yuvasya sadhu yuvadhyajaka ashishto pradishto balishta sveyam mitrasya nasyat. He says, he is yuva, he is balishta, he is very, very strong also, no gunda can come and attack him easily. And he is very strong, he has got an inner strength also, he has got an external strength also. And he is the sole emperor of the entire earth, not an earth which is devoid of treasure, an earth which is full of treasure, full of wealth, full of prosperity. So, Vittasya Purnasya, full of wealth, so he is in charge of that. And he has got a beautiful wife, he has got a beautiful child, he has got all that you can conceive. What will be his happiness? You take it as one unit of human happiness. 100 times that human happiness is the happiness, the next world you go, when it is called the Manushya Gandharvana Mananda. A man who has been promoted to be Gandharva, there is a loka there, he is called Manushya Gandharva. So, 100 times this one man's happiness is that of one Gandharva. Then, there is still further another plane, which is called the Deva Gandharva. They are all direct recruits. We know in a firm, if there are posts of general managers, either you can promote the assistant general manager to the general manager, or you can bring somebody from another firm and directly appoint him. Therefore, direct recruits. So this firm and that is that of Ajana Deva. 100 times that is that of the Karma Deva. 100 times that of that one unit is again what is called the Prajapati Ananda, of one who is called the Prajapati. It goes on, then Brihaspati, then finally 100 times this, 100 times this, 100 this, you take to the power of n, 100 to the power of, to the power of 100, 1, thrice. See, there are about 20 exponents. And so with 20 hundreds to the power and all that, 100 times 100 to the power of 20 times further, 100 into 100 into 100 into 100 into 100 into 100, like that 20 times, how much will it come? And that will be perhaps an indication as to what the infinite bliss will be. It will be beyond our concept, beyond our imagination. So, Lavaha bhavati anandinaha. So it is this droplet which grant you all this bliss when you go to these small lokas, like the Mahaloka, like the Brahma Loka. Well, how would you like to be satisfied with these droplets? Hey, aim high. Don't go after droplets, go to the entire reservoir. When once you have to do efforts, all the efforts is only for this purpose. Do an effort and get the entire reservoir. Then, now, the other one I read it will stop. Finish 59. Tatyukta pakhidam vastu yavaharashchidan vitaha tasma sarvagatam brahma shire sarviriva akhile. Again, he is going to say how the Brahman, even though we are unable to see, it is there with us and it is almost evident in every act of everything. You say everything is. You say I am. You say the body is. You say the machine is, the equipment is, the door is, the shrine is. So, all this, everything, all the items in the world, the material cause happens to be the Brahman. So, the material is Brahman, the is aspect, the aspect of the being, the aspect of the existence. It is there in all, it follows in every object. So, the Brahman is present. So, the Sat portion of the Brahman is present. Then, if you are unconscious, can you talk? Can you eat? Can you walk? So all the transactions which you are doing every day, who makes it do? So all these things are being done by the Atma. It is the Atma which talks through you. It is the Atma which eats through you. Again, it's a superimposition. The Atma doesn't do it. It is a reflected glory of it. See, the rays who are reflected, which is called the Jiva, that doesn't again. There is a small difference which you have already explained. And in the Vedas they ask, what is Brahman? Come on, define it properly. Define it in one word. He said, Prajnanam Brahma. It is one of the 4 Mahavakyas, the greatest aphorisms which are supposed to lead you directly to the moksha on continuous, ceaseless, incessant contemplation. And that is called Prajnanam Brahma. What is Brahman? What is the supreme one that's conscious? Prajnana. What is the consciousness? I don't understand these words. You are using vocabularies which I do not know. What exactly do you mean by that consciousness? So what is Prajnana has been defined in one of the Upanishads. Yene chate srinotidam jighirati vyakaroti cha swadu vijanati tat prajnanam udiritam. That is called the consciousness. What is called the consciousness? Yena ikshate. The one, because of which, through which, by means of which you are able to see. The eyes cannot work if the Atman were not there in it. If the consciousness were not there in it. This is not conscious. Is it able to see me? Is it able to see you all? No. It is the consciousness which enables me to see. So, yena ikshate, srinotidam. You are able to hear. Whatever I am now talking, how are you able to hear? It is because of the consciousness. Is this table, is it able to hear me? No, it is so close to me and you are all far off. But because it doesn't have consciousness, so that which makes you hear, Shinotidam, Jighati, the one which smells. Then Swadu Vijanati, it can see this is a good taste, this is a bad taste, this is good, this is not good. It can understand. It can discriminate. Tad Brahmanam Udiritam. That is what is called consciousness. So, with this we stop today. There are only about 9 more shlokas left. Perhaps I think another 2 classes. Then after that we are going to take up another beautiful book which our Ramana has translated, Bhagavan has translated. And that is known as Atma Sakshatkara Prakaranam. It is written in bold letters. Atma Sakshatkara means the context of self-realization. Prakarana is the context. So self-realization, it is all self-realization of Jnana Kalottara. It is another Agama Grantha, just like the Devi Kalottara which we read some 2 months back. So we are going to take it up. People who would like to have a copy of it, they equip themselves with it, because in another 2 classes or so, from the 3rd class quite likely, we are about to start that Atma Sakshatkara Prakaranam, that Jnanottara. It's a separate book available there.